Welcome back to the session on algorithms by using the divide and conquer method. So we shall see the quicksort algorithm, which is a sorting algorithm to sort a given set of elements. So quicksort algorithm is based on the divide and conquer approach. It divides the input elements based on their value and not the position. So the elements will be rearranged in order to achieve its partition. So what is the partition? A partition is an arrangement of the array's elements such that all the elements before that partition, which is represented as S, that is before means to the left of S, will be lesser than or equal to the element at S, the A of S, and all the elements to the right of S are greater than or equal to A of S. So S is representing the partition. So we have made the partition here. So A of S is representing the element which is present at S. So all the elements to the left of A of S, starting from 0 till A of S minus 1, these all elements will be lesser than or equal to this element, whereas all the elements to the right, okay, these values will be larger than or equal to this value at position S. Once a partition is made at S, then A of S will be its final position in the sorted array. Once again, that element will not change its position. So sorting the two subarrays will be the array which is to the left of the partition and to the right of the partition, that is the subarrays which are to the left and right of A of S. So we shall write an algorithm for quicksort. So quicksort of input array A, L is referring to the left hand element and R is representing to the index of the last element. So if L is lesser than R, you need to make the partition. So we are going to call another function which is going to do the partition on the input array A from index L to index R. So remember, partition is going to return the position at which the partition was made, and this we are representing as S. So we are using divide and conquer. That means we have to now separately sort the array which is to the left of S. So quicksort of A of L until S minus 1, and we have to separately sort the right subarray, the array which is to the right of S. So quicksort of A of S plus 1 until the index R. So the partition algorithm is based on a pivot element. So we need to select a pivot, which is an element with respect to whose value we are going to partition or divide the subarray. The pivot element is selected based on different strategies. That is, you can take the first element as the pivot element, the last element as the pivot element, or any element can be taken. But the simplest one is to use the first element of the subarray as the pivot element. We are going to use the first element as the pivot element. So what is the index of the first element? L. So A of L will be our pivot element P. So then we need to scan the subarray from both ends, the left direction as well as a right direction, and compare it, the elements of the subarray with the pivot element. So the left to right scan, we are using the index pointer I for the left to right scan. Now it starts from the second element. the scan skips over elements that are smaller than the pivot. So you keep scanning the elements that are pointed to by the index I, provided these elements are smaller than the pivot element that you have chosen. You need to stop the scan upon encountering the first element which is greater than or equal to the pivot element. Why we are doing this, looking for the smaller element? Because we know that when we make a partition, the elements to the left of that partition will be smaller than the position which is the element which is present at the partition. So the right to left scan, we are using the index pointer as j. It starts from the last element of the subarray. Each time we are going to scan by comparing the element pointed to by the pointer j, provided it is larger than the pivot element. We need to decrement j and keep scanning and comparing until we find an element which is smaller than the pivot element. When both scans stop, that is left to right as well as right to scan stop, we may come across three situations based on whether the scanning indices have crossed over or not. Now, if scanning indices I and j have not crossed, that means I is lesser than j. When you have stopped, now I is lesser than j. In that case, you are just going to exchange the ith element and the jth element and then continue with the scan. How to continue? You increment I and decrement j, continue the scan. So this is the pictorial representation. The pivot element is here. Here you have all the elements that are less than or equal to p. You have stopped at that I where you found a value that was larger than the pivot element. Here are all elements that are greater than or equal to the pivot element. You have stopped at index j where you found the first element that was smaller than the pivot element. Since I was lesser than j, you have swapped this element with this element. Next you are going to increment I, decrement j and continue with the scanning. When scanning stops, if the scanning indices have crossed over, that is I value has become greater than j. So I is pointing this direction here and j is pointing here. That means j is smaller than I. In that case, you are almost done with the partition. So you need to swap the element that is present here with the pivot element. And you have made the partition at this j. So if scanning indices stop while pointing to the same element, that is both I and j are pointing to the same element, then the value they are pointing to must be equal to the pivot element p. So we consider the subarray is partitioned with the split position as I is equal to j is equal to s. Let us see how the partition algorithm is written. So we are going to partition an input array A with left and right indices as L and R. So this algorithm is going to return us one value where the partition is made, that is the position where the partition was done. So initially we need to find out the pivot element. So what have we decided? The first element in the subarray is going to be the pivot element. So the variable p is assigned with the first element, that is a of L, as the pivot element. Then we need to define two indices. The left to right scan index, that is I, is initially given the value of L, and j is the right to left scanner index, that is given a value one more than the rightmost element. So we are going to repeat these steps until I is greater than or equal to j. What is that? We need to do the scanning. You keep doing, that is I is equal to I plus 1 as long as you encounter the element at that I which is greater than or equal to p. and you keep doing this. We have started with one value that is above the rightmost element. So each time you need to decrement the right to left index scanner. So j is equal to j minus 1 as long as you find an element that is smaller than the pivot element p. Once you stop, you need to swap the ith element with the jth element. So we know there are three cases. The third case we are going to merge with the second one, that is with I is greater than j. Now, when I was greater than j, you actually do not do a swap with the ith element and jth element, but you need to swap the pivot element with the jth element. So that one case which you have done an additional swap, you are going to undo. So swap a of I with a of j, undo last swap. Then what you are doing? You are swapping the pivot element with the jth element. So swap a of L with a of j. Why a of L we have taken? Because our pivot element is a of L. Then we are going to return the position where the partition was made, which is nothing but the index j. Consider this example of 8 elements. We have the elements 5, 3, 1, 9, 8, 2, 4, 7, which needs to be sorted by using the quick sort. The first element is considered as your pivot element. I should point to the second element. So what is I? I is your left to right pointer, and j is pointing to the last element, which is your right to left scanner pointer. Now you need to scan from left to right first. So the value that is pointed to by, that is 3. It is less than the pivot element 5. So you need to increment I. Now the value that is pointed to by is 1. 1 is again lesser than or equal to 5. So once again you increment I. Now when you compare, the element at this I is 9. 9 is larger than 5. So you need to stop scanning from left to right. Right now I is pointing here to the index 3. Now continue with the right to left scan. The elements that are to the right should be larger than the pivot. Now 7 is the element which is pointed to by the j. So 7 is larger than 5, true. So now you decrement j. J is decremented. Now j is pointing to 4. Now 4 is lesser than 5. So you need to stop the scan. Now you have stopped when I is pointing to index 3 and j is pointing to index 6. Now I is less than j. So what you are supposed to do? Swap the ith element with the jth element. That means the element 4 will come here and 9 will come here, and then you continue the scan by incrementing I and decrementing j. So I is incremented, so I is at position 4 and j is decremented, so it is pointing at position 5. Now continue the scan. Now 8 is larger than 5, so you need to stop the scan here. Continue the right to left scan. 2 is lesser than 5. Once again I is less than j, so you need to swap ith element with jth element. So 2 is swapped. 2 comes in the place of 8, 8 comes in the place of 2. Once again what you need to do? Increment I and decrement j. Now I is pointing to 5 and j is pointing to 4. So what you need to do? In this case, I is pointing to an element which is larger than 5. J is so you have stopped here, you need not continue the scan. J is pointing to an element which is smaller than 5. So you have to stop here. Now j is become lesser than I. What you should do when j is lesser than I? You need to swap the jth element with the pivot. So 5 is taken in the place of 2 and 2 is exchanged with the element 5. So 2 comes here and 5 is here. So what have you achieved? You have made the partition at the position 4. So anymore this 5 will not change its position. It has reached its final position. Next you need to sort the subarray 2, 3, 1, 4 and the subarray 8, 9, 7 separately. So continue the quick sort for this left subarray. So 2 is taken, the first element is taken as a pivot, I is pointing to the element 3. Now 3 is larger than 2, true. So increment I. So now I is pointing to 1. When I is pointing here, you have to increment. When you encounter the first element which is larger than 2, you need to stop. So I is stopped here. When J is pointing to 4, 4 is larger than 2, yes. So decrement J. Now J is pointing to 1. 1 is lesser than 2. So stop. Now I is pointing to 3, J is pointing to 1. I is less than J. So what you need to do? Swap ith element and jth element. So 1 and 3 are interchanged. Then what you need to do? Increment I, decrement J. So now J is here and I is here. Now you see 3 is larger than 2. Correct? So you have stopped here. Come to 1. Whatever is pointed to by J. So 1 is lesser than 2. So you are stopping, and because J is become lesser than I, you need to swap the jth element with the pivot element. So 2 and 1 are exchanged. Now the partition was made at position 1. So S is 1 and 2 has reached its final position. You are with the value 1, a single element in the left subarray, and the elements 3 and 4 in the right subarray. So this one is having only one element, so you need not call the quick sort. That itself is its position. Whereas 3 and 4, once again you need to call the quick sort. Sort this. Unfortunately, you will find that they are already in their position. So first a partition is made at this position, and you get 3 and 4 in their final positions. Then continue sorting the subarray with elements 7. Let us see the tree of recursive calls for the example we have done. We have the list of 8 elements starting from left index 0 and right index 7. So in the first case, we have made a partition at S is equal to 4. So next time we made a recursive call in order to sort the left subarray and right subarray. So in that case, our left subarray had the L value as 0 and R value was S minus 1. So that is 4 minus 1, that is 3. And then we sorted the right subarray by calling the quicksort function with new value of L. What was that? That is S plus 1. So 4 plus 1 is 5 and R was same 7. Now in this case we made the partition at position S is equal to 1, and for this subproblem the partition was made at S is equal to 6. Now we can try to sort the next subarray. Left subarray will be L is 0 and R is S minus 1, that is 1 minus 1 is 0. So we are having only one element in the array, so we do not have to call the quicksort function. So no partition is made here. Next, for the right subarray, L was equal to S plus 1, that is 1 plus 1 is equal to 2 and R is the same 3. In this case, there were two elements. We have made a partition at S is equal to 2. Now, after making a partition at S is equal to 2, we have two subarrays left and right. So what is the left subarray? With L is equal to 2 and R is equal to S minus 1. What is S minus 1? 2 minus 1, that is 1. So we are going to call the quicksort only if L is less than R. Now we find that L is larger than R. So no more quicksort function will be called here. Now look at this case. your L value was S plus 1, that is 3, and R is also equal to 3. So L is equal to R is equal to 3. There is only one element, so we do not have to sort the subarray. So coming to this case where L is equal to 5 and R is equal to 7, we have solved this problem where we obtain the partition at S is equal to 6. Now the left subarray will have L is equal to 5 and R is equal to S minus 1, that is 5. Now both L and R are equal, that means there is only one element, so I do not have to call the quicksort function. Coming to the right subarray, L is equal to S plus 1, so 7, and R is also equal to 7, one element once again, I do not have to call the quicksort. The number of key comparisons that are made before a partition is achieved is n plus 1 in the case where the scanning indices cross over, and it is only n if they coincide. So the best case occurs when all the splits or partitions occur at the middle of the corresponding subarray. So the number of key comparisons in the best case will satisfy the recurrence relation represented as C of n suffix best to indicate the best case. Each time we are making two equal subarrays, so middle, so 2 times number of comparisons made in the case of with n by 2 elements plus n. So as long as n is greater than 1, when there is only one element, number of comparisons made is 0. Now with the master's theorem, this is A, this is B. A is equal to B power D, that is 1. So we have C best of n belongs to theta of n log n to the base 2. The worst case for the quicksort is when the inputs are already sorted. In this case, when we are already sorted array as the input, one of the two subarrays will be empty and the size of the other subarray will be having only one element lesser than the main array, that is whatever subarray was being partitioned. So if A starts from 0 to n minus 1, if it is an increasing array which is already sorted and A of 0 is used as pivot, then left to right scan will stop on A of 1, whereas the right to left scan will go till A of 0 and the split position is at position 0. N plus 1 comparisons will be made in order to get to this partition, and also exchanging the pivot A of 0 with itself. The algorithm will be left with an increasing array of A to A of 1 to n minus 1 to be sorted. So this sorting is continued until the last one is left with only two elements, A of n minus 2 and n minus 1. So the total number of key comparisons in the worst case will be n plus 1 first time for n elements, next time 1 less, so n until 3. Now we know the case of 1 plus 2 plus 3 until n is nothing but n into n plus 1 by 2. So here we have this is n, so n plus 1 into n plus 1 is n plus 1 plus 1 divided by 2 minus 3. So which belongs to n into n is n squared, order of n squared. For the average case, the number of key comparisons represented as C average of n is in the order of 1.39n log n to the base 2. How did we get this value? So in the average case, that is on a randomly sorted array, a partition can happen in any position S with the same probability. Say we consider it as 1 by n. So and the partition can happen in any position S after n plus 1 comparisons are made. So after the partition, left and right subarrays will have S and n minus 1 minus s elements respectively. So if we solve this, C AVG of n is obtained as 1 by n into summation of starting for values from 0 to n minus 1, n plus 1 comparisons plus left subarray with S. So comparisons for sorting the subarray with S and the remaining subarray, that is n minus 1 minus S. So number of comparisons taken there for n greater than 1. When the number of elements is 0 as well as elements is 1, the number of comparisons is 0. So if we observe, quicksort will make in the average case 39% more comparisons than in the best case. Thank you.